there, this is Justin with Goodland Plumbing. We are still here at 851 Camino Pescadero. This is going to be our second recording of the day. Our initial recording was going from this one-way clean out to the city, where we got out to this 109, 110 feet, where we hit Y connection. We were not able to get by this zone. However, on our initial pass, we had located numerous root intrusions, some of them being up to 90% pipe capacity. Because of that, we went through and step cut the line and did multiple passes with a couple different cutter heads to clear out as much roots as possible. This is going to be an updated recording pulling back from the same spot to our cleanout. Afterwards, we will then hop to a cleanout further downstream and attempt to get out to our city connection. As we pull back here to this 108, we still have a good sized root intrusion there. Another root intrusion right here about 104. When sending the camera out, we were able to, looks like we were able to clear up most of the root intrusions. However, there's still a couple of stragglers, and there's still a few zones with, like this one right here, around 86 feet out or so. I believe this is right where we have our last two units tying in at. So I am going to go ahead and attempt to snake and clear through this zone as well. Also camera through this zone and hopefully get those root intrusions. I believe these guys are actually growing down the tie-in itself. Right here, around 82, 83 feet. Looks like we cleared out some of those guys. $74 feet. Looks like we cleared out some of these guys. Right here, around 64 feet. I believe this is that possible clean out. 48 feet, still have some root intrusions right here. However, I believe this guy was substantially bigger. Right here we have our middle two units tying in at. You can see we have a little bit of water flow coming through there. Someone's probably using a sink or something. $42 feet, cleared out some of these root intrusions. Right here, 38 feet, 39 feet. This guy right here is a pretty large root intrusion. As you can see, it looks like we even have some insects or worms growing in there. This root intrusion is pretty thick. Each time I work through it, our cable even got hung up on a few of the passes. As you see on the far right hand side, it looks like we have some really thick roots growing in there. This I am going to see being a problematic zone, and you know, like I said, I worked my way up to our largest cutter head, and we were only able to whittle this guy down to about maybe 30% pipe capacity, whereas before it was around 90. However, like I said, I do see this becoming a problematic zone in the future. Back here around 20 feet, looks like we cleared out a good sized root intrusion right here, around 23 feet or so. Right here around 15, still have a good little straggler growing down in here, probably about 25%. Here we're coming up out of that Y connection. Transitions to ABS, and now we are running back towards our cleanout. and out of our line. This is our clean out. Lines running out here, and down El Colegio, down Camino Pescadero, down towards El Colegio. That's going to be the end of this recording, end of video.